This is Mrs. Wentz class reading The Legend of Lightning Larry.
Well, you've heard about gunfighting good guys like Wild Bill Hickok and Wyatt Earp.
But we'll tell you a name that strikes even greater fear into the hearts of bad men everywhere.
Lightning Larry!
That's me!
We'll never forget that day Larry rode into our little town of Brimstone and walked into the Cotton Knot Saloon. He strode up to the bar and smiled straight at the bartender.
Lemonade, please! Every head in the place turned to look.
Now standing next to Larry at the bar was Crooked Kurt.
Kurt was one of a band of rustlers and thieves that had been terrorizing our town, led by a ferocious outlaw named Evil Eye McNeevil.
Kurt was wearing the usual outlaw scowl.
Larry turned to him and smiled.
My big find you got there, mister.
What's it to you?
Well, maybe I could help remove it.
I'd like to see you try.
The rest of us got out of the way real fast.
The bartender ducked behind the bar.
Larry and Kurt moved about 10 paces from each other, hands at the ready.
Larry was still smiling.
Kurt moved first, but he only just cleared his gun from its holster before Larry aimed and fired.
Zing!
There was no bang and no bullet, just a little bolt of light that hit Kurt right in the heart.
Kurt just stood there, his eyes wide with surprise. Then he dropped his gun, and a huge grin spread over his face.
He rushed up to Larry and pumped his hand.
Mighty glad to know you, stranger. The drinks are on me. Lemonade for everyone.
When Evil Eye McNeevil and his outlaw gang heard that Crooked Kurt had gone straight, they shuddered right down to their boots.
Most any outlaw would rather die than smile.
Evil Eye's men were shook up, but they weren't about to let on.
The very next day, Dismal Dan,
Devilish Dick.
and Dreadful Dave rode into Brimstone, yelling like crazy men and shooting wild.
Yeehaw!
Windows shattered.
And citizens scattered.
Then Lightning Larry showed up. He never warned them.
Never even stopped smiling.
Just shot 3 little bolts of light.
Zing, zing, zing!
Hit those outlaws right in the heart.
Larry shots knocked the outlaws to the ground. They lay there trying to figure out what had hit them. Then they got up and looked around.
Looks like we did some damage, boys,
Said Dismal Dan.
Hope nobody got hurt, said Devilish Dick. We better get to work and fix this place up.
Said Dreadful Dave.
They spent the rest of the day replacing windows and apologizing to everyone who listened.
Then for good measure, they picked up all the trash in the street.
Evil Eye McNeevil had lost 3 more of his meanest men.
And he was furious.
He decided to do something really nasty.
The next day,
Stinky Steve!
in sickening said, walked into the 79th National Museum Museum with guns in hand.
They wore masks.
But everyone knew who they were from the smell.
Stick up your
Said
hand.
Stanky Steve.
Give all of your money in your vault, ordered Sickening said.
They were just backing out the door with the money bags when Lightning Larry strolled by.
Didn't even slow his step.
Just shot those bandits in the back.
Zing, zing!
Right through to the heart. The puzzled outlaws stopped and looked at each other.
Seems a shame to steal the money of hard-working cowboys.
Wouldn't want to make their lives any harder.
They holstered their guns and walked back to the teller.
Now you keep that money safe.
Then they pulled out the wallets and opened up accounts.
That was the last straw for Evil Eye McNeevil. It was time for a showdown.
The next day at high noon, Larry is sipping lemonade at the Cotton Mouth Saloon. Evil Eye burst through the doors and stamped up to him.
I'm Evil Eye McNeevil.
Hello, Evil Eye. Can I buy you a lemonade?
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Oh, I know. Seems pretty spacious to me.
I'll be waiting for you down by the Okie Dokie Corral.
And Evil Eye stamped out.
Larry finished his lemonade and walked out onto Main Street.
Evil Eye was waiting for him. Evil Eye wasn't alone.
There on either side of him were
Roger!
Grimy Greg,
Creepy Cow, Moldy Mike,
Lousy Luke.
And not a one of them looked friendly.
Nice day for a stroll.
Call Larry.
Draw, said Evil Eye.
All of us citizens of Brimstone were lining Main Street to see what would happen.
smiling, but we knew even Larry couldn't outshoot all those outlaws together.
Just then, a voice came from the Cottonmouth Saloon.
Like some help, Larry?
Wouldn't mind it.
Out stepped Crooked Kurt, and right behind him were Dismal Dan, Devilish Dick, Dreadful Dave, Stinky Steve, and Sickening Sue. They all took places beside Larry. Hello, Evil Eye,
called Kurt.
Traitors.
You Evil Eye.
Draw, said Larry with a smile.
Evil Eye and his men drew their guns.
but Larry and his friends went eye blink quicker.
Their guns fired 7 little bolts of light.
Zing! With those outlaws run, you know what?
Yippee!
Yelled Evil Eye.
He shot in the air.
Zing! There was no bang and no bullet, just a little bolt of light.
All right, now let's clear this town once and for all. Zing, 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 zing.
And before we could duck for cover,
Larry and Evil Eye and others.
Turned their guns on the rest of us.
bolts of light flew everywhere.
No one was spared.
Not man.
Woman or child.
Yippee! You never saw such a happy crowd.
We all rushed around
And thumped each other's hands.
and hugged each other.
Then the musicians got out instruments and began dancing too. Main Street was one huge party.
All the rest of that day.
In all through the night.
We never drank so much lemonade in all our days.
With all the commotion, only a few of us saw Larry ride into the sunset.
Can't say where he went,
Can't say what he's doing now.
but we're still betting in for the heart.
Zing!